Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to MaxSpeedTV. As tonight we are here as the OP Racing Superspeedway Series tackles the infamous Talladega Superspeedway. My name is Stolfus, and in the booth with me tonight will be Steve Baker. But for right now, you guys get to listen to me and my soulful sounding voice. I hope you all are strapped in, holding on tight for 94 laps around this big bad mamma jamma racetrack we called Talladega. Welcome and thank you for coming on by. So some things to get through real quick. Guys, don't forget tonight's race is brought to you in part by the Ohio IndyCar League. You can check them out on facebook.com/Ohio IndyCar League. If you're looking to join the Ohio IndyCar League, don't worry, you do not have to be from Ohio. They'll take you. They run the IR-18 fixed setups, and they are broadcasted right here on MaxSpeedTV. Guys, thank you so much for joining us tonight. A lot of racing to cover, a lot of stuff to get through. We're going to start with our points here. Coming into tonight's event, Cody Ober is your points leader at 382 points. Jacob Sayers, DJ Mitzel, Kelly Milam, and Aspen Belbin round out your top 5. Big shakeups going on here in the OP Racing Superspeedway League. These points are going to be distributed differently the next time you see them. Get a good eyeful of these right now, but a lot of changes coming this way. The drivers with the asterisks on their 1-win situation, those are encumbered wins. So those wins did not count for points. So that is a bit of disheartening news for those guys who did pick up those wins. But here tonight, we have our top 10 in our speed chart for practice. Brad Ray, a rookie, and Alex Kinsler, another rookie, both sitting first and second in the speed charts. Very smooth, very fast lap times by these guys. The 51 machine of Travis Elliott, Derek Conley in 4th, and the 5, Jacob Sayers in the 39 machine. We'll round out your top 5 on the speed charts. Coming up next will be qualifying. Don't forget to join us once again next Monday, March 4th at 7:50 p.m. as the OP Racing Superspeedway Series heads to Daytona International Speedway. And then Tuesday, that is tomorrow, February 26th at 7:50 p.m., the Racing for a Cause Vapor Trails Clothing Truck Series will be doing the Southern Conservation Trust Dirt Derby at Volusia. And Steve, you're going to be participating in that.
Yeah, we've put in some practice, and hopefully it pays off. Not my forte to be on the dirt, but we're going to give it a shot.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm excited to be a part of the broadcast for that. And I look forward to it, and I look forward to getting to watch you race. But as always, thank you so much for joining me here tonight to do this big old bad fast 2.66 mile track.
Yeah, and one thing I've just seen in practice is before we're about to start qualifying, we've had a few big groups out there practicing big, sort of big group drafting, something we haven't seen in practice the past few weeks. So right before practice closed there, we've had about an 8 or 9 car group there running together. So not sure if they're getting ready for something crazy tonight or if they think it's going to get ratcheted up. Looking forward to some exciting racing here at Talladega.
Before we can get to the racing, we got to go through qualifying. And right now, we're watching the 39 of Jacob Sayers cycling around this track. He's running that yellow line for the moment. Wondering if we're going to see him jump up to the high side here. Now moving on to the 350 of Alex Kinsler, a rookie, is cycling around, getting that machine up to speed. Tell you what, Steve, these guys, I'm going to be whipping these cars around here. And I'll tell you, how important is qualifying to you? Because to me, I don't like to qualify on these plate tracks.
Yeah, I'm right there with you, KR. If it were any other track, I would say try and start with the best track position possible, get up front. But with how back and forth these plate races are and can be, I tend to like to start out back and see, you know, how everybody's racing that particular night. I don't like to start in the middle whatsoever. But if you're able to put down a fast lap, you know, it definitely can't hurt. You see a number of the guys that tend to start up front here consistently, so I'm assuming we'll see that same group tonight. But I'm right there with you. I like to start in the back and sort of get a feel of the race and how it's going before I make my way to the front.
95 of James Mayer. He is cycling around up near that wall. Saw Jacob Sayers near the yellow line. We see this 95 up at the wall. What kind of advantage do you get running along the wall here?
Well, especially for those first 2 laps in practice, you're going to want to, on your opening lap, stay up as close to the wall as possible, and the first green lap, you're going to want to stay up to as close as you can to the wall. And that advantage you get is just more track. So you're up there, and you have a lot longer of a time on track to build up your speed until you drop down on the final lap to run your hot lap for qualifying. Tires really don't matter here, so you're not going to burn anything up. But you really just want to get your momentum built up as much as possible, and running that outside close to the wall is going to give you the best shot at that.
Watching the 04 of Mark Mann, a newcomer to this OP Racing Superspeedway Series. First time we're seeing the 04 out on track. We'll see what kind of skills this rookie has. If you guys are interested in joining the OP Racing Superspeedway Series on Monday nights, you do have to go through the feeder series, and that runs on Wednesday night along with their Friday and Thursday night races, though that is the throwback series. But they do have a tiered system, and Monday night is their premier series for the Superspeedway stuff.
And that's a really awesome feature here by OP is you get in, you get a feel for how it's run, you get a chance to run in the lower series, and then you kind of, once you make your way out of that and run with big guys up on Monday nights, you can kind of go out and prove yourself.
So far we have had 12 drivers take a time. Aspen Belvin in the 84 machine, our inaugural champion, won the first ever championship that OP Racing had in the Superspeedway Series. Right now he is working his second lap in that 84 Punisher machine, and he is hugging that yellow line, working his way through 3 and 4, letting that car drift up just a little bit on corner exit. Now Steve, do you want to hold it down the entire time around here at Talladega, or do you like to not pinch the car off and let it drift?
I try and just have as little wheel input as possible. I feel like when I'm running my hot lap, I just kind of let the car go where it wants to with as little wheel input as possible to try and not scrub any speed off the car. But that being said, you don't want to get too far up on the track because you will lose time, just because the higher you get up, the more distance you have to cover. But I tend to not try and cut it down if it's not wanting to go that way. That way I can just keep the speed up as high as possible.
On the 62 of Les Levy, he loves his hooker headers. I love hooker as well. Hooker headers, known for their slogans. I'll tell you what, though, he is out on track in that 62 machine, looking like he is getting ready to lay down his first lap time. But guys, as we like to do here on MaxSpeedTV, we're going to step away for just a minute, and we are going to play our national anthem that is provided by Madison Rising. If you guys haven't checked them out, make sure you do so. You can check them out at madisonrising.com. No one go anywhere. We'll be right back after this.
Oh, say twilight lies gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fights. Oh, the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket trembling, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, traitors, that's the spangled banner, yeah, wave for the land and of the free, and the home of the brave. Because we are the brave. Yes, we are the brave. We'll fight to invade the name of the brave. We are the US of A. For those unaware, that flag is still there. It's our future to save. This land of the brave, the US of A. Oh, traitors, that's the spangled banner, yeah, wave for the land of the free, and the
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, as the field is starting to line up for tonight's main event, the OP Racing Superspeedway Series at Talladega, and the drivers are taking to the grid. One thing, it's time to go through our starting lineup. Row number 1, brought to you by MaxSpeedTV. Hey, that's us, right, Steve? The 89, Ken McCullough on row number 1 has a win on the season, looking to get another one. The 8 machine of Cody Ober, his eyes say I'll kill you, face says I'll smile while doing it. We'll start outside row number 1. Row 2, the 46 of Kelly Milam, the 62 of Les Levy. Row 3 will be the 350 of Alex Kinsler and the 28 of Derek Conley. Row 4 will be the 84 of Aspen Belvin and the 128 of Brad Ray. Row 5 will be the 07 of Scott Bellum and the 7 of Josh Milam. Row 6 will be the 3 of Robert Payne, looking for his second win of the season. Robert Payne picked up the first win here tonight And as Steve pointed out to me, he is the only one that has led the most laps and been able to pick up the win. The 51 of Travis Elliott start on his outside in row number 6. Row 7 will be the 04 newcomer Mark Mann and the 15 Alex Green. Row 8 will be the 39 of Jacob Gadam Sayers and the 95 of James Mayer. Row 9 will be the 42 of Chris McCullough, last week's race winner, and the 14 of Cody Eldred. Row 10 will supposed to be the one of Darth Vega, but he is our race control tonight, so he will be up in the race control booth. And the 38 of Cody Leavitt. Row 11 will be the 2 of David McCullough and the 11 of Chase Berry. Row 12 will be the 82 of Daniel Harrington, making his second appearance here in the OP Racing Superspeedway Series, part of the DEI Wannabes, and the 16 of Forrest Sparks. And that is going to do our lineup here tonight, as the 8 Cody Ober, Kelly Milam are on the front row. I believe I said that wrong.
I actually think Cody Ober missed grid, so he's going to have to start from the pits tonight.
Yeah. So the 89 of that's Kenneth McCullough, and the 89 is out front.
Yeah, that's going to move Les Levy up a whole row position since Cody Ober failed to make the grid. So going to move Les Levy up in that outside lane. Kenneth McCullough going to start on pole tonight.
All right, well, thanks for clarifying that, because my timing and scoring just went all sorts of ballistic. Sweet, love it when that happens. All right, Steve, I'll tell you what, you take us here as the pace car is going off into the pits.
Yeah, pace car off onto pit road, but these drivers have to wait just a little bit longer. Talladega start-finish line all the way at the other end of the grass. Field forming up 2 by 2 as the 89 gets ready for the green flag to drop. Green is out, and this field is underway here at Talladega. Great start on the bottom row by Kenneth McCullough and Kelly Milam. Kelly Milam, no stranger to the front of these races. They storm in already single file. For the first 2 cars, Kelly Milam sticks the nose out just a bit to the outside lane.
Side by side, they work their way down this long backstretch. McCullough in the 89, Milam in the 46, down into turn number 3 they go. We got one already thinking about 3 wide. That's the 51 of Travis Elliott.
Yeah, Travis Elliott, no stranger to going up in that 3rd lane. We've seen him there many times. Now he ducks back down into the 2nd lane. Few cars in the back of the field. Their noses out in that 3rd lane as well. Les Levy steps out towards the front, then drops back down and behind Kelly Milam.
Side by side once again, they hit that backstretch. We got one down below the yellow line there. I believe that is the 38 of Cody Leavitt. He's going to tuck in behind the 11 of Chase Berry for now, as the 82 of Daniel Harrington going to tuck in right behind him. The 16 machine of Forrest Sparks running that bright fuchsia, magenta, purple. A 16 machine though, trailing around at the back of this pack here in that outside lane. We'll see what Forrest Sparks can do in this 16 machine. He's going to be one to keep an eye on here tonight.
Yeah, and the 38 of Cody Leavitt actually dropped down below the apron, I do believe, due to Daniel Harrington in the 82 getting into the wall just a bit, so I think he was just giving him plenty of room there to gather back up. But no issues so far throughout the field. Taking a look back up towards the front, Kelly Milam has Les Levy drop down to the bottom lane. Les Levy looking to take the lead through 3 and 4.
Les Levy in that Hooker's headers machine, getting after it here tonight.
And as was mentioned earlier, only 1 out of the 9 races has been won by the driver with the most laps led, being Robert Payne in the first race of the season.
We go on board with Les Levy in the 62 machine. Looking out at the back of the rest of this pack, you can see these guys all just kind of wiggling. Very nice and smooth right now. Ooh, as I say that, the 28 of Derek Conley, big wiggle as he went into the corner. But one thing I always keep an eye on here, how much those lines try to snake. Now we're seeing them all start to snake as they come in and out of those corners. Down the backstretch, man, everyone looked real nice and calm. I was going to comment on that, but as soon as I did, man, they have gone all to hell here.
Yeah, and we're 3 wide back in the pack as the 42 looks to put it through the middle. Now forces a car up high. Still in the middle is Chris McCullough. 128 of Brad Ray out on the outside line all by himself.
Down the backstretch with only 1 car stepping out of line right now. He is going to tuck in. That is the 128 of Brad Ray, as you mentioned. Tonight, we do have 3 stages for you. Stage 1 going to end on lap 20. Stage 2 will end on lap 40. I guess we should pull up the graphic. Here we go. 94 laps here is the scheduled distance, or roughly 250 miles. Our tire window right around 50 laps. Fuel window could be anywhere from 17 to 19 to 20 laps. We have seen some really insane stuff here out of this OP Racing League. They generally have to make 1 pit stop, but there have been some guys that have figured out how to stretch it to the max and run out of fuel on the cooldown lap for the end of the stage. So absolute insanity will ensue here in the closing stages of stage number 1, so make sure you tune in for that as well. But we're already on lap number 7 of 94 right now. Derek Conley in the 28 machine is out front.
Yeah, no stranger to the front as this team of drivers, Kelly Milam, Derek Conley, and Josh Milam, seem to find their way to the front just about every week. And they lead a lot of laps.
'51 of Travis Elliott in that green and white monster machine, 3rd car in the outside lane. We saw him trying to use that 3rd lane to his advantage. Looks like it's worked well for him as he is now at 3rd car. But the 42 of Chris McCullough, he's all the way. Okay, the 42 of Chris McCullough. Sorry, I blanked out for a second. We saw him make some outstanding moves in that 3rd lane, and Talladega is not going to really discourage anyone from using that 3rd lane. A lot of room to use it up there.
Yeah, if there's any track where that 3rd lane is going to have plenty of room, it is Talladega. And really the 3rd lane sometimes becomes, if you can get enough cars up there, becomes a preferred lane because you can build up so much speed. Right now we see only 2 cars up there, Chris McCullough and car that's pushing right behind him. But with that being said, I believe that's David McCullough right behind him. They're going to need a lot more help because these bottom 2 lines just have so much more momentum, so many cars in line comparatively. But you do see Aspen Belvin dropping out to that third lane, maybe trying to pick those guys up and move to the front.
We go on board with the 2 machine of David McCullough. We have Chris McCullough, David McCullough, and Kenneth McCullough, all a family of 3 drivers, a team of 3 drivers. Speaking of team, that is called the White Trash Racing Team. They are out here. We got 42 and 2 running up in the third lane. They are trying to hook up with the 89 of Kenneth McCullough, but Kenneth McCullough kind of a little bit separated from these guys for the moment.
Yeah, and Aspen Belvin and Chris McCullough making their way up to the front of this pack now. And they've still only got the 4 cars in that outside line, less than the other 2 lines, but they're finding a way to side draft and make their way up to the front. 3 wide now, 4 rows back.
Derek Conley, Kelly Milam, first and second cars on that inside line. Teammates working together there. Josh Milam in the 7 car. He is in that middle lane. Teammate with the 28 and the 46. We have seen this fuel sim racing, the FSR drivers essentially lock out everyone by running side by side time and time again. Here they're trying to pull it off. They got 2 lanes under their control. But Aspen Belvin in the 84 machine, he is leading that third lane right now.
Yeah, and you see the 2 machine of David McCullough just lose a little bit of the distance there to the bumper of the 42 of Chris McCullough, and that outside lane sort of dropped like a rock there through the front stretch. 84 and 42 still hanging around there. They've got the 89 now behind them of Kenneth McCullough, but still just not enough momentum on that top side unless you have a good majority of cars.
Derek Conley in the 28 making a move up to block the momentum of the 7 machine of Josh Milam. Do want to point out real quick that the 8 of Cody Over missed the call to pit road for the grid. That 8 machine is about to get swallowed up by the lead pack. He will be the first one to go 1 lap down. And it looks like he is going to try and get out of the way of these guys, but he needs to slow that thing way down as that lead pack is not quite up to him. He will go a lap down. Good news for him. We're nearing the end of this stage. The very real possibility exists that he will be the only car 1 lap down.
Hopefully Cody Ober is able to just get the lucky dog, get back on the lead lap, and continue his race. We are still 3 wide at the front as Aspen Belvin in the 84 and Kenneth McCullough right on his bumper are able to stay up there. Just a 2-car group right now to the outside. Derek Conley drops down to the bottom right in front of Kelly Milam. Like you were saying earlier, Kara, I think the more and more we've seen this fuel situation play out, the more we're going to see drivers attempt to make it on fuel.
Yeah, they're kind of, it's like letting the genie out of the bottle. Once it's out, once it's known, hey, you can make it if you go to extreme measures, then we're going to see more and more people try it. Now, the cards do have to fall in their favor, and you do have to make the decision very early on that this is what you're going to try to do. Before the moment, we are seeing these guys out front really burn up a lot of fuel, so it's going to be very hard for them to make it. And as we are nearing that end of stage number 1, I don't know. I used to try and think, how would I handle a race like this? I've gotten to the point where I just go, you know what, hammer down, whatever happens, happens.
Yeah, I think you have 2 distinct philosophies. You've got the guys who just stay out front, try and take the track position, and just race full throttle the whole way around. But like you said, there are those guys that from the beginning, they're committed to the fuel strategy. They don't ride in the front. They know that if they ride up there, they're going to run out of fuel. So some of them will just sit back in the pack, stay out when everybody else pits, and hope they can make 2 or 3 extra laps by just riding around half or three-quarter throttles for the first 15, 16 laps.
Do want to point out we got a three-wide battle here, several cars deep. The 89, the 42, and the 2 have all joined forces. So White Trash Racing in that third lane. The 7 of Josh Milam breaking down to the inside here. That is going to leave the 51 of Travis Elliott as the new leader for the middle lane. Aspen Belvin out in front by a car length, but he is not going to give up this high side. It looks like it's really working well for him. Aspen Belvin looking to lead his first lap, but the 51 of Travis Elliott saying, no, you know what, I want to take this one.
Yeah, extremely competitive here in the first stage. 3 wide there for a moment, 6, 7 rows deep. You see Travis Elliott drop now down to the bottom. Aspen Belvin has been committed to that third lane and has made it work. He's got a gang of cars behind him now. As these guys, you see them jockey for position, getting a little more aggressive now as we close in on lap 20.
Getting very close to lap 20. In fact, if we were to get a caution now, that would be, and
oh,
there
it
is!
Speak up.
Oh, as I was saying it, the 51 of Travis Elliott going around.
Into the wall, a handful of other cars involved. Kelly Milam,
Josh
46,
Meyer.
Alex Kienzler.
Big old incident going through the corner here. Let's go ahead and back this up. Let's go to our MaxSpeedTV replay. Figure out exactly where this went wrong for several of our drivers. Alex Kienzler involved in the 350. See, the 7 just gets into the 51 as they go into the corner. Kelly Milam gets a big piece of that. Then Milam gets into Kienzler. Travis Elliott in that 51 machine. Getting turned. Up the track he goes. The 95 machine of James Mayer with nowhere to go, unfortunately. You're gonna go on board with Mayer. Just a tough break for that 95. But as I was getting ready to say, a caution at this point would essentially be the end of the stage. It looks like we're scoring the 39 as our race leader, and race control has contacted me. Yes, Jacob Sayers in the 39 machine is your stage 1 winner.
A pretty wild end there, as we had just mentioned, the aggression ramping up a little bit to the end of stage 1.
The 39 of Sayers in and out of his pit box very quickly. Going to be the first one off of pit road. Let's see if we can get a word in with him. Give me just a moment. We will reach out, contact that 39 machine of Jacob. Got him, Sayers. Jacob, you got your ears on, buddy?
Pretty good. How you doing, KR?
Oh man, I'll tell you what, I get to talk about racing here tonight. I get to watch some great racing, and I get to talk to you as our stage 1 winner.
Well, you're making me blush by talking to me, so.
Well, congratulations on winning the first stage here tonight. How's the racing out there so far for you? We've seen you like in the thick of it all race long so far, but you've been steadily marching to the front.
Oh, racing's been great as always in an OP Super Speed or League anyway, but I mean, this airborne graphics car's been looking great. It's been running fast. Got to thank Exclusive RC for really stepping up for the rest of, hopefully for the rest of the season. Hopefully I can keep them up front and to a championship.
Well, so far you're doing all you need to do. You came into tonight second in points. You were a points leader early on in the season. What's it going to take for you to wrestle this points lead away from Cody Ober?
Well, not much, because I just seen across my screen here it said that he manually disconnected, so I'm not counting my chickens yet. It's going to be a long night, but I know I'm 19 points behind them. Hopefully I can retake that lead.
All right, man. Well, good luck to you. Before we let you go, though, man, any last shout-outs, thank yous you'd like to give?
Again, thank you to Exclusive RC, Brian. Look him up on Facebook. Any 3D printing you need, he can hook you up. Again, Airborne Graphics, thank you for making this car look great, and the other cars that you've done for me look great.
All right, that is Jacob Sayers, part of the JSI Motorsports stable, getting stage win #1 done here tonight. And Steve, I'll tell you, that was an amazing stage 1. These guys were getting after it right from the get-go.
Absolutely, and one thing I'm noticing now, since they have declared stage 1 over a few laps early, that makes stage 2 a little bit longer, and we're seeing a lot of guys come back down pit road to top off with fuel. They're going to have a few extra laps this time by for stage 2 than they would originally, so I don't know that anyone's going to really, I mean, you see a few people coming down and trying to top off with fuel, but it was already a close call to begin with to hit 20 laps. I don't know that anyone can make it on fuel to make it to lap 40 here.
Yeah, it's going to be a close one. So, guys, while we're cycling around under yellow, do want to point out that Cody Ober has reconnected. It is currently scored 2 laps down, but we are going to step away for a quick moment. We'll be right back after this.
The most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $100,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
Welcome back, race fans, as the lights have gone out on that Ford butt stain. Cycles around oh so slowly because that's all it can do. The 39, Jacob Sayers, is going to be the control car. He has chosen the outside lane for this restart. The 84 of Aspen Belvin going to make up the rest of row #1 for this restart. Behind them, the 28 of Derek Conley and the 128 of Brad Ray, right now the highest running rookie in the field. That will be at row #2. We see the 62 of Lee Stevie and the 95 of James Mayer making their way up to the front. Mayer getting involved in that accident earlier, but because he stayed out when everyone else came down hit pit road, he has gained a lot of spots, and he's going to start in that third row outside lane. But here we go. Jacob Sayers in the 39, waiting very patiently as the pace car pulls off very early here for the pace lap. Green flag only moments away, and Sayers gets on the throttle, and away we go. Brad Ray not quite to his back bumper. Derek Conley getting very close to the 84 of Aspen Belvin. They're going to have a good run here through 1 and 2, and down on that inside is really going to be a benefit to him. Oh, trouble for that outside lane. Sayers in the 39 all by himself. He is going to lose a lot of ground here as he currently has no help.
Yeah, and Aspen Belvin already under attack by the 28 and 62 machines. Want to point out real quick that that outside line was so barren because a number of drivers, I believe, came down pit road with just a lap left in caution pacing. That will send them to an end of line penalty. So they all had to start on the bottom line, single file. That is why the top side had way less cars than that bottom side did on that restart.
Yeah, good note there. Pit road does close with 2 laps to go to green. When some of these guys came down pit road to top off, they were given penalties. You're given an EOL penalty. Restart on the inside of the line of the double file here. So yeah, good note there, Steve. Glad you pointed that out.
Yeah, and since that's the case, it looks like it's taken this field a little bit longer than usual to sort of get grouped up with who you want to get grouped up with, get both lines sort of back to even and back to full power, as we see the 7 of Josh Milam sort of leading that second line to the front as more and more cars sort of filter out between the 2 lines right now.
Across the line they go. Derek Conley leading another lap. So far, he has led the most laps at 10. Jacob Sayers has led 5 laps so far tonight. And the Kelly Milam 46 machine has led 4.
And Kelly Milam right now back in the back, has yet to use his fast repair. Was part of that incident ending stage 1. The riding around with a little bit of damage at the moment, but likely to repair his car later in the race.
Derek Conley, your race leader in the 28 machine. Aspen Belvin tucked in right behind him. Those are the first 2 cars on the inside line. Here comes the 7 of Josh Milam. He is leading that middle line with a good bit of help from the 62 of Les Levy.
And already back to 3 wide racing. Aspen Belvin on the bottom line now, but that same crew that he was up on the 3rd lane in the first stage, back out to the outside. That's the 89 of Kenneth McCullough, 42 of Chris McCullough, the 128 of Brad Ray, and the 2 machine of David McCullough, all in that outside line. 4 cars out there trying to make it work.
Inside line gains just inches through the corners, and then the outside lines, both outside lines, gain inches down the straightaway. So it's a lot of give and take right now as far as where you want to be.
Absolutely, and one of the things that we had mentioned in the closing laps of stage 1 were how close those lines sort of converged against each other with the amount of side drafting going on to get an advantage as those laps ticked off the board to see who would win stage 1, and then the caution fell. So I'd imagine that same aggression is gonna, be present the rest of this race as we see the 7 get a little push there from Les Levy, gets a little loose, and he's gonna have to let out of it there a few turns ago, but able to keep it straight. Still 3 wide racing here. A few less cars on that outside line, but they're still up there trying to make it work.
We do have 21 cars on the lead lap The 8 of Cody Ober is scored 1 lap down in 22nd place. Cody Eldred in the 14, unable to make the race here tonight. He qualified but was unable to continue on after that, so he is packed up. He headed home very early here tonight for him. Cody Eldred with a race win earlier this season, not able to do anything here tonight.
And now we see a newcomer to that outside line. Les Levy in the 62 going to try his hand out there, leaving the 7 of Josh Milam in the middle lane. He's now being pushed by the 95 of James Mayer. Derek Conley still leading that bottom lane around the track, still with the majority of cars. Both the outside lines are 4 and 5 cars deep, and we're about 5 rows deep.
4 wide with McCullough here in the middle.
Wide, and that's stacking the field up, and that's going to make a wreck.
We're on board with McCullough in the 89 as he is going sliding down this backstretch. That is going to bring out the second caution here tonight.
Yeah, not quite enough room there to make it 4 wide.
So Kenneth McCullough in the 89. Looks like the 128 of Brad Ray getting a piece of this as well. So that outside lane, McCullough gets a good run off the corner, runs out of room down the straightaway here, and is going to start turning. Our camera just didn't quite catch all of it. David McCullough hard into the wall.
That's going to take away any questions about fuel, as you'll likely see the entire field either pit or save under this yellow flag. Means we are likely to get all the way green with no pit stops needed here until the end of stage 2.
Man, it looked like a good shot from the 2 of David McCullough to the 42 of Chris McCullough is what really set all of this up. Try one more look at it from the blimp here.
Yeah, and one thing we saw there is when the 89 tried to put his car in there and that gap closed up slightly, he had to lift, and that stacked everybody up behind him. Just because these cars are so close, and you know, that just shows you how quick things can happen here at 190, 200 miles an hour at Talladega.
All right, several drivers on the pit road. The 7 of Josh Milam, one of those is into his pit box cleanly. Derek Conley in the 28 also there cleanly, but looked a little conservative. Splash of fuel for the 7, and away he goes. It looks like he is going to be the first one off of pit road. Derek Conley in the 28 will follow suit in second. Daniel Harrington in the 82 going to be staying out. Good news for Cody Ober. He is going to get that wave around.
Yeah, and Les Levy nearly spinning it on exit of pit lane, gets it gathered back up, but he's going to lose 3 or so positions because of it.
Those 62 losing a lot of ground here. The 38 of Cody Leavitt, rookie here in the OP Racing. Not necessarily a rookie in these cars, but a rookie to the league. Keep an eye on this 38. And I told you to watch out for that 16 machine for Sparks. Right now, he's scored in second place.
Yeah, and that hard to miss purple, fuchsia, whatever you'd like to call it, car. Having a good run tonight. You know, only 10 or so laps going to be remaining in this stage, so he's got a great spot to start to close out stage 2. And possibly a chance to win a stage here tonight at Talladega.
All right, guys, we're going to step away for just a minute, mostly because I need another drink. We'll be right back after this.
Welcome back as the lights are off on the pace car here in the OP Racing Superspeedway Series at Talladega. Daniel Harrington is your new leader after the caution and pit stops. On his outside is the 6 and 4 Sparks. We're coming to lap 32 and getting close to the close of stage 2 here on lap 40. So just a handful of laps for these guys to gain a few extra bonus points in a stage win here. So expect to see some wild moves made here as people who had been up front are now cycled back to the middle or back of the pack as they try to make their way back up front. Pretty intense race so far, KR. What do you think?
Oh man, I'll tell you, stage 1 was it was everything that OP Racing looks for, everything that they deliver on a regular basis. And now we're looking at stage 2. Had our first caution in stage 2. Happened right in the middle, so a little bit of fuel strategy coming out to play as Daniel Harrington, 4 Sparks, they stayed out along with Alex Green, Robert Payne, and Scott Bellum. And Robert Payne, second car in the outside lane, looking to pick up his second win of the season.
The pace car pulls off onto pit lane once again, leaving the race in the hands of Daniel Harrington, who's bringing the field around the tri-oval here. Gonna wait a little bit longer. And now the green flag drops. 82 gets it roaring, and this field back up to speed here at Talladega with just 8 laps to go here in this stage.
Daniel Harrington, second race ever, looking to pick up his second stage win here in this series. Daniel Harrington right now leading the inside lane, but he's got teammate Alex Green right behind him in the 15. And I'll tell you what, if there's one driver that always finds a way to put on a show, that is the 15, Alex Green. If I'm out in front of Alex Green, I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
It just means you've got to pay as much attention as possible because he is ready to go. Outside lane got a little push. We have one car diving onto pit road. Not sure an issue there.
Looks like the 11 of Chase Berry.
This field back 2 by 2. Nobody stepping out into that third lane yet.
Side by side through 1 and 2 they go. 4 Sparks in that 16 machine. Looks like 4 Sparks is looking for some sponsorship, so if someone is interested in getting that name of their business on that 16 machine right now, he's giving that 16 car a great ride. He is battling for a stage win here, stage number 2, just a handful of laps away from being concluded. And right now, 4 Sparks leading that second lane, starting to develop a third lane here as Aspen Belvin and Les Levy, 2 cars right now in that third lane.
Yeah, Les Levy, the first one of the 2 to jump up, but he was all by himself, didn't get past lane or row 5. Aspen Belvin, we've seen him up there all night long, just about saying he's going to offer some help to Les Levy. Maybe they'll get a few more cars to jump on board and make their way to the front. But really no challenge just yet since we've gone back green to the 16 and 82 cars leading these 2 bottom lanes. 3 wide, Derek Conley looking to make it 4 wide, 3 in the third row back.
Cody over in the 8 machine got his lap back with that caution, and he has wasted no time in working his way to the front as he is in that third lane, rim riding, trying to recover lost ground. He had issues. He missed the start of the race as he was our pole sitter, or a front row, I should say. Wasn't on the pole, but he was on the front row. And that 8 machine ever since has been struggling to get caught up to the field. And here he is near the end of stage 2 in great position as he is that third car in the outside lane.
And back up front, Derek Conley just about put it 3 wide there in between Forrest Sparks and Daniel Harrington. Had to back out, and that's why you see the second lane sort of back up just a little bit. They're storming back up front as that 28 machine gets back to the rear bumper of the 16 to push him back towards the lead. Daniel Harrington still being pushed by Alex Green down in the bottom line, but what a run by the 16.
Forrest Sparks making his way to the front, and he's going to get turned by Conley.
Wreck.
Big pile up coming out of turn number 2. Cars scatter everywhere as we're going to go to our MaxSpeedTV replay, our second caution here in stage number 2. That looked like maybe just a touch of net code. I'm not 100% sure, but a lot of times in these Xfinity cars, when they turn that hard that fast, to sign a net code. But we're gonna go up into the blimp here and get a good point of view, and no, just an unfortunate contact. 82, I'm sorry, the 28 just not quite square, getting into the back bumper of the 16. It doesn't take much. See the field just scatter everywhere back behind them.
Yeah, and I think it, like what you just said, it was just a case of not being completely squared up bumper to bumper, going through the corner and pushing through the corner, where a little bit of momentum just too much to one side is going to send that lead car around.
And I have word from race control. Stage 2 winner is the 82 of Daniel Harrington, picking up his second stage win and only his second race. So congratulations to Daniel. We'll see if he can continue this trend and maybe pick up the final stage win, which would be the race win. Looks like several drivers coming down pit road. Harrington, not one of them. He is going to stay out. Let's take this opportunity to talk to him. But go ahead, Steve.
I was going to say, it looked like Conley hit the cone there, so not sure if that's going to send him a penalty or not.
Pit stops underway as the 28 machine has hit pit road. We're going to follow the pit stops here, and then we're going to check in with our stage winner, Daniel Harrington, if we can get a quick word in with him. Conley able to leave the pit box very quickly, get off of pit road. Other drivers still sitting on pit road, the 8 of Cody Ober and the 89 of Kenneth McCullough. Les Levy getting away. The 16 of Forrest Sparks looks like he had to use a fast repair, but we are into the final stage, so good time to use. Let's see if we can get a word in with Dan Harrington. Steve, you want to do the interview?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, fire away.
Daniel Harrington picking up stage 2 win. Tell us about your race so far.
Oh, very, very interesting. I've gotten a couple rough scrapes. I'm surprised I saved it on that last one. That took a lot of wheeling.
Yeah, we've seen some aggressive racing so far. Still plenty of laps left in this one, but you're out front right now. Picking up your second stage win and only your second race. Gotta feel good, and gotta feel good about your chances here tonight at Talladega, as you've been running pretty well.
Oh yeah, Talladega, between Talladega and 07, those are some of my favorite tracks. But I'm gonna pit now and then try and keep it out of trouble for a little while, and then make another charge toward the front is the general plan.
Well, congrats on the stage 2 win, and good luck the rest of the way. We'll look to see you back up towards the front there in the closing laps.
Cool, thank you.
That was Daniel Harrington, driver of the number 82 machine. Winner of stage 2 going to take his car down pit road, and like you mentioned, going to head back to the back of the pack and save his equipment for later in the race.
All right, with him peeling off, that is going to give the lead to the 28 of Derek Conley, Alex Green in the 15. Second place, those two going to restart on the front row here. I'll tell you what, that 15 Alex Green, he's looking for his first win of the season. He is going to be a bear to deal with on this restart.
Yeah, and we saw Alex Green and Derek Conley just pushing as hard as they could there in that last stage. So I'm imagining the battle between these two for the lead the rest of the way is going to be pretty intense. Still a lot of laps left, so a few green flag pit stops likely to take place. So still a lot of strategy out there left in this one. We've seen a lot of three-wide racing, just a couple accidents here so far tonight. But for the amount of three-wide racing, I mean, we've seen three-wide racing 6 and 7 rows deep for lap after lap. These guys, for the amount of hard racing that they're doing and for how many cars they're getting close together, I feel like have kept it pretty clean so far tonight.
Yeah, it's been
mishaps.
But we've had 3 cautions here tonight. As I pull up the graphic for that, we've had 3 cautions for 7 laps. 2 of them have come at the end of the stage. 1 of them was in the middle of a stage. So we'd only have actually 1 extra caution so far in our 39 laps of racing. Man, it's been exciting racing for me. I don't know. Close racing here, draft pack racing, that kind of stuff. You're gonna end up with cars getting turned like we just saw in this last incident. But overall, man, I think these guys are getting after it tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. And with the speeds as fast as they are, you know, really the issues we've seen have been reaction issues. Like we had the 89 just have to check up for a split second and just, you know, got a few of the guys behind him stacked up. And that's really just a reaction speed issue when you've got, you know, 20 or so cars within 5 rows, 6 rows of racing. Anything can go bad pretty quickly. But it's been fun to watch and have 3 competitive lines, 3 guys up front, you know, even with each other on all parts of the track, and really makes me excited for the end of this thing, knowing that pretty much every lane out there is competitive tonight.
Lights have gone out on the pace car. That means it is time to get down to business once again. 28 of Derek Conley choosing the outside lane, the 15 Alex Green on the inside. Newcomer Mark Mann in the 04 gonna restart inside row number 2. On his outside is the 46 of Kelly Milam. That 46 machine usually finds a way to the front here. It looks like he's got a little bit of damage on that yellow machine, as I can see a good bit of tire right now.
Yeah, and I think Kelly Milam's saving that fast repair for later in the race. You see Derek Conley picking that outside lane. He's doing that to start in front of his teammate in the 46. Try and work together.
Hey, teamwork makes the dream work, and having that guy behind you for a restart, very important.
It's all just a matter of time when you make the statement teamwork here at these plate tracks, because once you get down in those closing laps, it's every man for themselves.
All right, so for our restart, row number 1, Derek Conley, Alex Green. Row 2 will be Mark Mann, Kelly Milam. Row 3, Les Levy and Forrest Sparks. And row number 4 will be David McCullough and Brad Ray. Here we go. Alex Green on the inside. Derek Conley on the 28, the control car. Waiting oh so patiently for that green flag here at Talladega that takes forever to come out. Green flag is out. We are back underway. Final stage of our 94 lap event here, right at lap 41.
Field powers through turns 1 and 2, making their way back around to the back straightaway. Everyone getting up to speed here. And Derek Conley already side drafting closely to the 15 of Alex Green. Got a car down on the apron, looking to fall back. I think that's the 39 Stage 1 winner, Jacob Sayers, dropping back a few positions.
Side by side down through 3 and 4 they go. Alex Green in the 15 on the inside. Derek Conley in the 28 on the outside. Conley with teammate Kelly Milam in the 46. Forrest Sparks, who we saw go around not too long ago, that 16 machine. Fast repair used up. Car looking nice and pretty. Not a single sponsor on it, not a single thing, except for his car number. That 16 looking very racy here tonight.
Yeah, and this bottom lane actually looking a bit more thin than the second lane. Only 3 cars up in the front, and then a big gap to the next car back on that bottom. The middle lane right now, about 12, 13 cars deep. And just one lone car up on the top side as they run.
Side by side into the tri-oval. Across the line, they're going to go Conley with the lead that time. Conley so far has led 17 laps here tonight, still leading the most laps. But our rookie, Daniel Harrington, and Stage 2 winner, he has led 9 laps, sliding into second place in that category. But Harrington's got a little bit of work to do, as right now he finds himself all the way back into 16th place as we go on board with this 82 machine.
And he had mentioned intentionally dropping back as you see him working with Stage 1 winner. So right now both your stage winners working together. His outside is the other FSR driver, number 7, Josh Milam, looking to make his way back up to his teammates out front.
Getting a little bit of 3 wide action as the 2 of David McCullough starting to work in the outer lane. Got some help from the 11 of Chase Berry. Haven't talked a whole lot about Chase Berry in that 11 machine. Ooh, as we got a moment here in the back of the pack, the 38 of Cody Leavitt dropping down below the yellow line. Losing a lot of ground there. Not sure what happened to him. He is going to be the last car here. He is not careful. The 89, Kenneth McCullough, going to tuck in behind him now. Sorry, as I say that, McCullough moves up to follow Chris McCullough.
Yeah, and the reason for that stack up was the 8 of Cody Ober just put his bumper right underneath the 3 of Robert Payne and had to back out of it really quickly to avoid incident. Speaking of Cody Ober, rebounded nicely. At one point was 2 laps down, now back on the lead lap, running in 15th position.
Drivers up off of turn number 4, down onto the front stretch, where all the fans can see those nice, pretty paint schemes. Tell you what, some of these drivers put a lot of effort into them. Got some great looking cars out here tonight. Alex Green in the 15 machine, he is running a new paint job, and we've talked about it quite a bit, but the 62 of Les Levy is also running a new sponsor package on that 62 machine.
And once again, we are 3 wide here at Talladega. As the 2 of David McCullough leads that outside line with the familiar group that's been running it all night long, Travis Elliott and Aspen Belvin, Chase Berry right behind him.
Chase Berry in that 11 machine. A little bit of a bump to the 2, giving him a good shove as he goes down into the corner, and these guys going to run right along the wall here with Aspen Belvin in the 84. Aspen seems like he is really committed to running the high side, as he has been up there almost all night long.
And we're just now at the halfway point, so still a lot of laps left. And as we run 3 wide, I mean, these guys racing like there's only 10-15 laps to go, and when we still got 40+ laps left, that just shows you how much these guys want to be out front of this race, out front of the pack, and have that track position.
Very tight racing as they go through the tri-oval. Across the line they go. That is going to register Conley with another lap led. He has led the most laps. Sometimes it's by just an inch or 2.
And Derek Conley already, whoa, big wiggle there from the 15. Alex Green knocks the side of Kelly Milam, but gathers it back up. Derek Conley, the lap leader in 2 other races this season, but still seeking his first win of the year. On his way to becoming the lap leader, or the most laps led again tonight. Gonna finish that up with a win. Got a handful of other cars with other plans, as David McCullough out front for that one.
David McCullough in the 2. That red and white Bud machine working its way through the corner, dropping down in front of the gate of Derek Conley. So new leader, David McCullough.
Yeah, and David McCullough and Chase Berry both taking over the front of the bottom 2 lanes. That's going to leave Aspen Belvin and Travis Elliott without partners up there on the top side. They might drive back and lose a few positions.
Oh, little bit of a stack up right there. The 11, the 46, and the 16. Big moment for those guys. And Forrest Sparks in the 16. Little bit of separation between him and the 46. Looks like he's going to start closing that gap now. But man, that was a close moment as the 11 disappears. Oh, and the 15 is going to merge right into that car. But big moment for the 11 machine of Chase Berry, as he has a moment where he drops out. And we've seen that 11 car blinking a lot here tonight. It's a normal situation for the 11 machine, and it makes it very difficult for your competitors to know where you are. Not only that, but it saps some speed away from that line that you are in.
Yeah, when that car drops out of connection like that, it actually loses the draft for everybody around it. So it's as if for a brief moment that car isn't there. So like KR said, there is a little bit of a speed loss for that lane momentarily. We do see Derek Conley take advantage of that. He puts his car back out to the lead. Alex Green up to the 2nd lane now, leading that lane. The field has sort of settled back out into 2 lanes, and as I say that, we have Forrest Sparks and Brad Ray to the outside 3 wide, outside of Kelly Milam, looking to take over a position.
On board with the 28 of Derek Conley, looking out at the back of this field, and the 16's getting turned. Big stack up coming out of turn number 4.
Travis Elliott hits the wall hard in front of pit road. Had just about made his way through the wreck and then gets turned head on to that interior wall right before pit lane.
We go to our MaxSpeedTV replay. High atop from the blimp for our opening view here. We are focusing on the field as we're watching these guys work their way through the corner. The 16 and the 128. This is where the trouble starts. The 16 getting turned for a second time today. Travis Elliott in the 15, hard contact with the 128, nosing into the wall, collecting Aspen Velvin. Jacob Sayers in the 39 machine getting caught up in this as well. Big junk coming out of turn number 4. Kelly Milam involved. Milam heavy damage, but he was able to get through it very quickly. So despite being heavily damaged, he's not going to lose a whole lot of time. The 95 of James Mayer looks like he flashed past very quickly. We're going to watch this time. James able to make some great moves and get out of there very cleanly. So, whew, another big junk here. We got a lot of drivers on pit road this time.
Yeah, almost a second big one for the night. And like you said, the same situation, that the bumper just not lining up on that 16 car. Gets turned in the left rear into the field and just nowhere to go for a number of cars, and they get collected up in that process. Luckily, I believe a lot of guys have saved their fast repairs for just that occasion. We are under caution again here, pacing lap 53. Drivers make their pit stops.
All right, guys. I have a special video to play. I meant to play it earlier and I forgot, but we're going to step away. We're going to play this video and hopefully we can get it in before we go back to green flag racing.
Warning, the following stunts are performed by idiots or under the supervision of stupider idiots. If you attempt to reenact any of these idiotic stunts you will see, you will be left with idiotic scars. Enjoy.
Hi, I'm Alex Green. Welcome to OP Racing.
Alright guys, that video that we played was made by none other than the 28 Derek Conley. Cycles around right here. You can check him out on YouTube under Fuel_Rock. That is his name, Fuel Rock, with an underscore between those two words. And gave us permission to use that video tonight in the broadcast. So thank you, Derek, for making that video. Like I said, you can check him out at Fuel_Rock. That's FUEL_RODK. I'll tell you what, guys, though, Derek Conley, fun guy to get to talk to. Always a pleasure. Nice to hang out with. Unfortunately, tonight, he was one of the guys that spun the 1604 Sparks around. But he wasn't the only one, so Forrest has got to be feeling a little bit roughed up here tonight.
He's out here saying, guys, come on, I'm just trying to race, and just a bit of bad luck so far this evening. Still got his car out there, but a little bit of front end damage to it. But still in front, I believe, somewhat. Handful of cars pit that time by, so it's going to gain him a few more positions. He's sitting 11th.
Go ahead, Steve. Guys?
I was just going to say, for Sparks, I believe, is sitting 11th currently.
I was going to say we need to do a little bit of housekeeping. You have one car that has been sitting on pit road for an extended period of time. That is the 128 of Brad Ray, currently scored in 22nd place, is 3 laps down. Another driver that is 3 laps down is the 51 of Travis Elliott, scored in 21st place, but he is not on pit road. He is out on track. That 51 machine with heavy damage. He is getting back out there trying to salvage some points for the moment. And then I am showing Forrest Sparks in the 6th machine as 2 laps down, and 20th, and then 18th and 19th, that is Josh Milam and Alex Kinsler, are both 1 lap down, leaving us with 17 cars on the lead lap.
Yeah, that was my mistake there. I had reading him, you have him 2 laps down, but 11th on the track, so that was my mistake there.
All right, pace car getting ready to peel off. Derek Conley, the 28 machine, the control car. Mark Mann, newcomer, he is going to take us for a ride on this restart, guys, as we're going to do a little bit of crank it up.
Derek Conley still in command of this race out front in the 28 machine, being pushed by his teammate Kelly Milam. Alex Green still leading the outside line. Just 2 lanes of racing right now. A little bit of a group back in the pack laying off the main group. Lost a few cars there in that big wreck. Thinned out the field just a bit, but still plenty of cars on the lead lap here. 17 machines currently out on the lead lap. Josh Milam 1 lap down. Oh, big wiggle there, and we might have another one.
Josh Milam going end over end, barrel rolling down the straightaway, or not the straightaway, but barrel rolling off the embankment, ends up on his roof. And we're gonna have to go to our MaxSpeedTV replay. Figure out what happened to the 7 machine that caused him to start flipping. Saw Cody Ober get involved, the 62 of Les Levy. He's gonna slide up, try and close the gap that he opened up. The 7's gonna go over, the 07 of Scott Bellum getting involved. And Les Levy in the 62 is actually gonna go out of the track. The Les going up high, cuts back down, contact made, and he ends up on the fence in that 62 machine. I thought he actually exited the track, but not quite. We go on board with Chase Berry. Chase, little bit of contact there, but doesn't look like it affected the car, so he might have gotten away with that one. So the 11 machine of Chase Berry lives to fight another day. Now a lot of drivers hitting pit road. Looks like everyone coming down pit road as we are going to complete lap 59 of 94.
Josh Milam took quite the ride there. 10 barrel rolls through that wreck. Was a lap down now. Likely to have more issues with heavy damage to that car as it sits on pit road.
Daniel Harrington in the 82 machine scored as our race leader. Was just on pit road 6 laps ago, decided he was not going to come down pit road this time. So he will remain out there and be scored as your race leader. The 350 of Alex Kinsler is now 2 laps down. He was hoping for a wave around. Doesn't look like that is going to happen. With Harrington staying out. Maybe Harrington will hit pit road here this time. That will allow Kinsler to get that wave around. That's still, if Harrington hit pits road, that's still a long way away from making it to the end of this thing.
Still 30 plus laps left in this race, which is well beyond a fuel run.
Well, guys, if you haven't done it yet, make sure you give the broadcast a thumbs up on YouTube. Subscribe to MaxSpeed if you haven't done that yet. That way you know when this channel is bringing you some of the best racing action you will ever see. Go live with multiple races each and every night, so make sure you try and check out all of them. If you have a favorite league, favorite group, comment on here. Don't forget, you can also comment your driver. And if you are on the Twitch side of things, thank you very much for joining me on my Twitch channel, Outlaw77S. If you click the MaxSpeedTV logo down below in the channel description, it will bring you to the YouTube side of things. Or you can stay right here on Twitch. Everything you need to do right here. Comment on Twitch. Do whatever it is. Either way, you guys all are welcome to pick who you think are going to win the race tonight. I'll tell you, that Daniel Harrington, that 82 machine, been out front. He's got a stage 2 win. He's your race leader for the moment. And he also picked up a stage win last race 2 weeks ago. Well, I'm beginning to think that this 82 machine might be able to pull one out of his hat here tonight.
Yeah, he seems to be up front, you know, when it matters. But he's got a handful of very fast cars behind him. Derek Conley, especially with so many laps led tonight. I think those two guys are definitely among the favorites to pick up the win here tonight. What we've seen is you can't count anyone out until the end here at these plate tracks.
That's the plate tracks. That is what the OP Superspeedway does. They run on rotation with Talladega, Daytona, and Daytona 2007. So that very bumpy, very difficult Daytona one. And I'll tell you, these guys put on a heck of a show. I love doing this week in, week out for these guys because it is very, very entertaining. Spectacular racing every time they show up. Just to recap, our point standings coming into tonight's event look like this. Cody Ober was the points leader, Jacob Sayers in second, DJ Mitchell third, Kelly Milam fourth, and Aspen Belvin was fifth. However, as they are running, this will shake everything up, and because I am not going to put in that much effort to bring you live updated information, you'll just have to do it yourself. So Cody Ober being your points leader coming into tonight's race, looks like he is really going to have to figure out what to do here, as that 8 machine is scored in 13th place. But as we have said, plate racing, anything can happen. See if that 8 machine, followed by the 39 of Jacob Sayers. Those guys running first and second in points, now running 12th and 13th on the track. Anything could happen. And Steve, man, I always try to hit back to you. You got so much insight, such a good driver on the pavement stuff. You know so much about what these drivers are going through. We're on lap 62 of a 94 lap event. Lights have gone out on the pace car. What's going through a mind right now?
Well, you're definitely closing in towards the end of the race, but still, you know, 30 laps or so to go. That's an eternity almost on plate track time. Personally, I like to sort of save any moves that I make until 20 to 15 laps to go. You've still got a lot of time when you've got 15 to go here around these huge tracks, Talladega being the biggest of all the NASCAR tracks. So, you know, really in this position with 30 and counting down, this is when you're working to find, you know, who am I going to work with? What teammates do I have left out here? Who's been good help tonight? Who's been fast tonight? And you want to sort of position yourself around those drivers to get ready to make a charge to the front if you're towards the back. If you're in the front, as we've seen Derek Conley and Daniel Harrington up here, and Kelly Milam, Alex Green, these guys have been up front the majority of the night. You're just making sure you're keeping it clean. You're keeping that track position. You know runs are going to come. Don't do anything drastic to ruin your chances here. And just save the craziness there for the last, you know, 5 or 6 laps where you really got to hold off the charge from anybody coming up through. Name of the game of these plate tracks is keeping the car clean and staying around to the end, because you can never win a race if you're not there on the last lap.
Field starting to bunch up for the restart. Pace car working towards pit lane. Daniel Harrington in the 82, the control car on his outside, the 28 of Derek Conley. Here we go once again, ladies and gentlemen. As it stands right now, these guys, if we go green the rest of the way, we'll have to make one more pit stop. Green flag is out. We are back racing. as Daniel Harrington and Derek Conley drag race down into turn number 1. Kelly Milam tucked in behind Harrington, and then it is the 15 Alex Green trying to suck up to the back bumper of Derek Conley.
Yeah, and Daniel Harrington getting a big push right now from Kelly Milam, though. Moving around quite a bit as that outside lane gets formed up. Very, very close here with the cars out front and the people pushing them, but you do see Alex Green sort of step out a bit there. Leaves a bit of a gap there to Derek Conley, and they're going to drop back just a bit. Probably going to rebound here in a second. Field noticeably thinner now than about 20 laps ago. It'll be interesting to see if we have enough cars out there to make that third lane work as it had been all race long so far. But it'll be interesting to see how competitive it is as we move into these closing laps.
Do want to point out we have 15 cars on the lead lap. Last car on the lead lap is the 38, Cody Leavitt. He is sitting in 15th spot. The first car 1 lap down. That is the 62 of Les Levy. Oh, we got the 15 going around. Harrington going up and over. The 95 getting airborne. Another big incident here as they are working their way off the corner. Cody Ober involved as well. Big junk on another corner exit. Looks like turn 4 has been a troublesome corner for these drivers all night long.
And Kelly Milam stuck there in the middle all by himself. Just side by side there with Daniel Harrington. They touch, and that sends Milam up the track. He gathers it, but then I think just a bit gets into the left rear of Alex Green. That sends him down into the bottom lane, and from then on it's just Daniel Harrington gets turned up into the top and collects a handful of cars, and some of the cars that were already spun out collect a few more. So another big one here at Talladega.
Watching the replay here, you can see the 82 of Harrington on that inside lane with not a lot of decision making that he can do here. Getting tagged by the 15 Alex Green, pirouetting through the air along with James Mayer in the 95. So a lot of these guys with some heavy damage. Les Levy getting a piece of it. Cody Ober smoking. Aspen Velvin finding a way through without any damage, but that 95 machine getting a piece of it. Oh man. Back on the pit road, some of these drivers will go, but Derek Conley's staying out. It looks like he might be one of the few drivers who has stayed out. Aspen Belvin gonna roll out in second. Alex Green in the 15 machine getting caught up in that incident, but rolling back out, only taking enough time for one side of tires and a little splash of fuel. See how that plays out for him. But guys, we're gonna step away for just a moment. No one go anywhere. We'll be right back after this.
Welcome back to Talladega in the OP Racing Superspeedway Series. We're pacing lap 67 of 94 here. Just closing out a yellow flag. Pit stops have been made. Field getting cycled back through, and I believe we're going to see lights off on the pace car this time by possibly, might be next time. We're scored with 11 cars currently on the lead lap, as we see a handful of cars dive back down pit road. First car one lap down is going to be Les Levy in that 62 machine. Derek Conley, however, still out front with a familiar face, Alex Green, as well. They have been out front. Seems to be this whole race, and the lights are off on the pace car, so we are going to see a handful of cars probably have to be forced into that bottom lane on this restart due to pitting on the last lap of caution. How that shakes up the field, we will see. We'll be back. Green Racing coming to lap 69. It will leave us a handful of laps left. Still, good amount of laps for racing left this evening. And that last caution really taking out a handful of contenders tonight.
Yeah, we definitely lost quite a few drivers as had already used a fast repair or any number of things that had happened. However, still have 11 cars on the lead lap. Daniel Harrington in the 82 is the first car one lap down at the moment. You have several cars behind the wall or on pit road. We're down to just 15 cars out there cycling around still. We started 22, so attrition taking its toll here in the later stages of this race.
Yeah, and more so lately in the past 30 or so laps, we've seen just some aggressive moves made. We had seen a lot of three wide racing earlier in the race, but with it being three wide, so there was plenty of room left, and now we've seen as the laps kind of count down, those gaps between the cars get tighter, and the importance of position gets higher, and you really are seeing people fight for position on track. Just 4 cars in that outside lane as the pace car drops off the pit road. That's going to leave Derek Conley with control of the green. Green flag drops. Derek Conley gets his field back underway. Pulls out quite a bit in front of Mark Mann in that 04. See Derek move immediately to the top in front of Alex Green. But Alex Green moving to his outside. Not willing to push that 28.
Alex Green has teammate Robert Payne in the 3 right behind him, so he took full advantage of that. Moved to the outside, hoping that they could get some momentum down the straightaway, but the 84 of Aspen Belvin came to the rescue of the 28, but then he abandons him and moves to the inside, and Alex Green right back behind the 28 machine. Meanwhile, up front, Mark Mann and the 04 machine going to be leading his first laps of tonight's event. And Chase Berry in the 11, he also is out front breathing that fresh air for the first time.
And as we see with 11 cars on the lead lap and like you said 15 or so out on track, that opens up a lot of space for these drivers to make big runs and have space to gain position and make moves. They're not trapped within a pack of 20 plus cars anymore. So these guys can, you know, you've seen the aggressiveness already tonight, but you might see these guys even ramp it up a bit more because there's so much more room on track now for them to make moves and get around people. A We could see it ramp up a little bit here. Derek Conley drops down to the bottom, looking to retake over that lead from Chase Berry.
We're going on board with the 04 of Mark Mann as he is on that inside lane. Second car right behind the 28 of Derek Conley. You see that outside middle lane, so to speak, here. Get a good run down the straightaway. Chase Berry shoots out in front, but here comes that inside lane through the corners.
And Alex Green looking to get by Chase Berry. He's seen his connection blink just a handful of times, saying, I don't want to be behind that. So him and teammate Robert Payne looking to make a move as Chase Berry's dropping way far back in the middle lane. No help from behind.
Chris McCullough in the 42, Kenneth McCullough in the 89. Here they come. They are a father-son duo. They are all by themselves in that third lane, and they are making it work. Down into 3 and 4, a two-car group trying to battle everyone else. Can they make it work?
Like we had mentioned, the field being a little thinned out now, might be able to have some success on that high side with less cars than you would have needed earlier in the race.
David McCullough in the 2 machine going another lap down. Was able to stay to the high side, did not affect anything. He is now 3 laps down, scored in 15th place. Alex Kinsler in the 350 machine, he is scored in 14th, and he is running around this big Talladega plate track all by himself. Only a matter of time before he gets swallowed up by everyone else. Then our 2 cars that are 1 lap down, the 82 of Daniel Harrington and the 62 of Les Levy. Those guys are in a battle for the lead lap down car. And for the moment, it belongs to Les Levy in the 62.
And that's going to be an important position the rest of this race, because if we have another yellow, that will put them back in contention to be a contender to win this race. A few notable cars that we lost in that last caution, just going over again: James Mayer, Kelly Milam, Cody Ober, your points leader, Brad Ray, and Travis Elliott. So Cody Ober now back to 18th position and out of the race. Second in points, however, Jacob Sayers up to 9th on the lead lap. Good night for him to make up a handful of points in the point standings.
Race leader Alex Green in the 15 for the moment, as the 28 of Derek Conley moved to the outside. The 42 of Chris McCullough. Oh, big contact with the 42 and the 89. McCullough going up and over. Those 2 drivers, teammates, White Trash Racing, taking each other out here as they were trying to work on that high side. As we go to our MaxSpeedTV replay, once again, both Chris McCullough and Kenneth McCullough, race winners here in this season. 1 race win apiece. And here tonight, big trouble as they were going for the lead, working their way through 1 and 2. Contact was made. Chris McCullough going up and over. Kenneth McCullough, the culprit this time. So both those guys taking the long haul back, as they will be on that flatbed hauler to pit road.
And Chris McCullough really getting the worst of that one.
All right, the field trying to catch up to the pace car here. We now have 18 laps to go. This race drawing to a close. Had a great start to it, but now we've been mired a little bit by cautions here. We're starting to get into a long run here. Derek Conley getting close on fuel as he'd been out for 17 laps. It was only a matter of time before he had to hit pit road, so he's going to be feeling the relief of this caution. But so far, 7 cautions on the night for 19 laps. We have had 25 lead changes. Derek Conley has led the most laps. He has got that locked down at 38 laps led here tonight.
Drivers are making their last trip to pit road for fuel, likely for the evening.
Final pit stops underway. Who is going to be able to come down pit road? Or I'm sorry, who? Everyone came down pit road, because I just realized I was not live and watching. Now.
The one thing I'm looking at is, I think if I'm reading this correctly, we only have 1 car left on track. That's Robert Payne, that has a race win this season. So very likely we see yet another new winner tonight, as last race's winner, Chris McCullough, is sent out of the race after that collision with the wall.
I am double checking your statement there, and I am seeing, yes, both Kenneth McCullough, Chris McCullough, they do have a race win. Unfortunately, it looks like the 89 of Kenneth McCullough is going behind the wall at this time. Whether or not he will be able to come back out, I do not know. But the 89 machine and the 42 both making their way out of the racing track. Behind the wall they go. That will leave us with, as you mentioned, I don't think we have any other race winners out there other than the 3 of Robert Payne. And Robert Payne picked up his win on the opening race of this season. That's one thing that OP Racing really does. You have no idea who's going to win. They do not have repeat winners on a regular basis.
Yeah, this being the 10th race of the season, and very likely to get a 10th different winner, unless Robert Payne can make a statement here and pick up his 2nd win. But yeah, 9 races so far this season, 9 different winners. Very likely to have another different winner tonight, with the odds being 1 to, I think it's 11 or 10 cars on the lead lap right now for Robert Payne. But he is up front in the 4th position, so definitely capable of winning this race. Got a clean car, and going to be starting out front here towards the front of the pack. So definitely a chance for him to pick up a repeat win on the season and become the first repeat winner. But you got to think Derek Conley really going to fight for this win. He's led so many laps this season, so many laps tonight. Another car that's led a lot of laps and been up front is Alex Green.
Alex Green always puts on a show. The OP Racing Mr. Excitement himself in that 15 machine. Right now he is out front, and I'll tell you that there are 2 drivers who are going to fight tooth and nail to hold on to the lead. I would say that would be the 15 of Alex Green and the 28 of Derek Conley. They're going to be restarting 1st and 2nd here tonight.
Another note I'm checking is Mark Mann in the 04, currently in 3rd position. New to this series, having a great run tonight in that Javelin machine.
Yeah, Mark, man. Very glad to have Mark show out here tonight. He has got a great showing in his first race ever, that 04 Javelin paint scheme. Brings back a lot of memories for long-time NASCAR fans, seeing that sponsor out there. It's kind of a unique paint scheme that he has there. A little bit of a throwback with his own flair to it. It was looking very good. I like it. I like it a lot.
Yeah, I love seeing the Javelin throwback paint schemes on any car.
Lights have gone out on that Ford butt stain. Alex Green in the 15 machine choosing the inside lane. Derek Conley in the 28. Forced outside. And that poses an interesting question. Why the 15 did not want to work with the 3, his teammate there. But maybe Alex just likes that inside lane. A lot of times, as a broadcaster, we can look into things a little too deep. Sometimes it just comes down to, well, I forgot I could pick lanes.
I think we've got 12 cars on the track at the moment.
That's what I'm actually 13 cars on the track.
Daniel Harrington 1 lap down in your lucky dog position as they run. But we're winding down the laps here. We're going to be coming to lap 80 of 94. So not much time left in this one. It has been a race of attrition. Started out the night with 22 cars. Out of 10 cars on the lead lap. So a really great opportunity for anyone out there still of picking up a win. Robert Payne leaving a big gap there behind Derek Conley, closes that back up. Shouldn't need to pit for anyone else the remainder of the race. This should be good on fuel. Alex Green gonna take his green. As the flag drops and this field gets back underway. Close out these remaining laps at Talladega. Side by side into turn 1, Derek Conley, Alex Green, Mark Mann, and Robert Payne right behind him. And Derek Conley trying to make an aggressive move to get behind Alex Green. He's going to get stuck in the middle. Alex Green way out in front by himself. 3 wide in that second row. Aspen Belvin going to push Robert Payne up to the front.
Chase Berry also dropping down below the yellow line in reaction to what he was seeing in front of him. However, we get it all sorted out. These drivers stay green, and they are all looking to set up for the end of this run here. We got 15 laps to go. This time, when they cross the line, 15 minus 1, that's, I'm not good at math. I think that's something they call 14 laps to go now.
And Robert Payne in the 3 car out front. The only one left in this field with a race win. Looking to pick up his 2nd win on the season. Alex Green thinking about making a 3 wide there, but not quite enough room. He's going to put it back behind the number 3 machine, but Derek Conley outside, leading that outside line. And now Aspen Belvin jumps out to the top side, looking to pick up Chase Berry. Going to allow the middle lane to lose quite a bit of momentum.
Robert Payne in that 3 machine coming around to lead another lap. Alex Green, his teammate, DEI wannabe team right there running first and second. Fuel Sim Racing, Derek Conley in the 28 all by himself with a good run up off the corner. He has got Les Levy in the 62 trying to help him out, and then the 84 of Aspen Belvin. Aspen Belvin, part of the JSI Motorsports team, and Les Levy in a solo car effort.
We've got 3 Chevrolet Camaros on that bottom line in this front breakaway pack of 6. 2 Fords, that's Derek Conley and Aspen Belvin, with Les Levy and a Chevrolet in the middle of them. Robert Payne still your leader with Derek Conley to his outside, working lap 83 of 94.
Down the backstretch they go. Robert Payne out front for 3 laps so far here tonight. That 3 boldly displayed on his machine, with his teammate, the 15 of Alex Green, tucked in very tightly behind him. However, they are going to have to figure out how to deal with the 28 of Derek Conley and the 62 of Les Levy. Those 2 on that outside lane, pairing up very nicely right at the moment, putting in a good challenge to the teammates on that inside line. And let's not forget the 04 Mark Mann, debut race here tonight, first time out on the track here on Monday night, and he is running with a good solid effort with a shot at the win, maybe even a top 5.
Yeah, Mark Mann qualified 13th, currently running in the 5th position on that bottom line, and has looked strong tonight and looking very strong here in these closing laps. Still capable of getting a win if the cards fall right into his place. But as he sits now, just content, it seems, riding on that bottom line. The 3rd row back. Still 10 laps to go here at Talladega.
Side by side they go. Derek Conley by half a car over Robert Payne, very close at corner exit there. Down this long Talladega backstretch they go. Conley with Les Levy on his back bumper. Alex Green shoving the 3 of Robert Payne for all he is worth. They make their way through 3 and 4 this time. There will be 9 laps to go as they cross the start-finish line.
Yeah, not much movement here as far as the leaders are concerned. I assume one of the cars behind them, maybe Aspen Belvin sitting in that outside lane in the 3rd row back, are thinking about making a run eventually. Might decide it's too soon at the moment to make the run. We've seen Aspen up in that 3rd lane numerous times tonight, but the question is still, does he have help left in the field to make that outside lane work?
Aspen Belvin in the 84. Oh, as Robert Payne, big contact.
No caution.
So Robert Payne knows it first into that outside wall through 3 and 4. No caution, as he was just a single car incident. Race control not going to throw the yellow for a single car incident that is not triggered by iRacing. That is going to hurt Robert Payne's feelings for sure, as he is on pit road now.
And that takes out the last remaining race winner on the season so far. So it seems like we're going to have a first-time winner for the season tonight. And Mark Mann running in second behind Alex Green in his debut race.
watching the replay here, Robert Payne somehow was the only car involved in that one. And yes, that will not trigger a caution. Was all by himself in that one. So bad luck for Robert Payne. Scott Bellum in the 07 going another lap down. He is out there cycling around. He is scored in 16th place, 20 laps down. But he has a chance to gain a couple positions if he can continue on. So Scott Bellum, given that no quit attitude, no quit spirit, we'll see if he can gain those 2 positions. Very dependent on how fast he can get around this track, as he has got to make up 5 laps on the driver that he is trying to pass, who is out of this race. Got to do it before these guys can do 6 laps.
As you mentioned, Scott Bellum sitting 7th in the point standing, so every point going to matter for him. So that's why he's still out there fighting for every position. You love to see that. Guys out there with no quit. Still got 5 cars in this front pack. You've got a 1 in 5 chance of coming home with a trophy tonight, as Alex Green and Mark Mann run that bottom line. Les Levy gonna drop down. That's gonna leave Derek Conley and Aspen Belvin sort of behind him. They keep switching lanes, trying to see which one's gonna give him the best run. Aspen sort of sticking the front of his car out on that 3rd lane, but he's not gonna have any help out there.
Mark Mann in the 04, sitting in that 2nd spot behind Alex Green in the 15. Derek Conley in the 28 on the outside lane. We have a 5-car breakaway. One of these cars is gonna win, maybe die. We don't know, but I do know that 84 of Aspen Belvin, past season champion, inaugural season champion. He's making a move to the outside of Derek Conley here. We're going to go 3 wide as they come to take 4 to go.
Derek Conley defending that outside lane just a bit by moving up the track. That's going to force Aspen up a little higher than he would have liked. That loses him some momentum. Derek Conley keeps control of the front of that outside lane. It's going to be tough, though, with just 5 cars here. You're really going to have to see a 3-car group on that outside to push one of them, I think, out to the lead. As long as those 3 cars stay on the bottom, it's going to be tough for anybody to get past Alex Green.
Derek Conley doing all he can to convince the 84 of Aspen Belvin to stay behind him, but Aspen just will not stay behind him. Gonna try it all by himself in that 3rd lane. Les Levy gonna tuck in. Oh, contact made. They all sorted out. Derek Conley still in the outer lane now, as they're gonna go side by side. Alex Green in the 15 holding on to the top spot with 3 laps to go. For Sparks in that magenta, what color is that thing? That 16 machine. He's gonna stay down below the yellow line.
Coming to 2 laps to go here at Talladega as the sun sets behind the grandstands. Light not going to be an issue for this one, as we'll get it done well before we lose some sunlight. But as we continue to see Aspen Belvin trying to make that 3rd line work, just having trouble getting around Derek Conley. And Derek really having trouble to get up past Alex Green. We've seen him pull side by side with him a number of times, so hasn't been able to get up to clear him. Les Levy has fallen back a little bit on this lead pack. Not sure if he's trying to set up a run. Got to watch himself, though, that he doesn't get too far back and lose the draft.
Got a 4-car breakaway here. It looks like Les Levy in the 62 falling just a little bit further behind with each passing moment. Final lap, final time around. Who's it gonna be? The 15 of Alex Green, the 28 of Derek Conley, maybe the 84 of Aspen Belvin. Oh no, contact! All four are gonna go around, and it looks like Mark Mann is gonna sneak by.
Keeps the car clean, goes way low on the apron, and he's gonna come away with a win in his debut race. I don't think Les Levy can get to him. We talk about a race of attrition. The last lap sees 3 of the top 4 wreck out, and that's going to leave Mark Mann in the 0-4 to win his debut race here in OP Racing Superspeedway Series.
Mark Mann gets it done, holds on to the steering wheel. What a great move down the back straightaway. Pulls out the win in his debut race. Les Levy in the Hooker Headers machine comes home in second. Third place is going to go to Chase Berry in the 11 machine. Jacob Sayers scored 4th, and 5th place will be the 84 of Aspen Belvin, as he was the first one to recover and get rolling. So we're going to back up. We're going to go to a MaxSpeedTV replay and figure out what happened to these drivers down the back stretch, as that is not the person I want to see. I'll back this up just a little bit more, as we see a very tight-knit 4 wide coming off of turn number 2. Contact made. All 4 drivers. Very tight reaction there. Mark Mann, the first one to go all the way down to the bottom. Aspen Belvin going for a wild ride. One more time here. See just how close they are racing to come to the finish as we go on the nose can of Mark Mann. Great throttle work to hold on to that machine. Kept it pointed straight and got through it. Holy cow.
I tell you, what a job there by Mark Mann, because I'm pretty sure he got some contact, from the 28 there. So heck of a job driving, keeping it straight and coming home with the win. Exciting finish there by those 4 guys, and wow, what a finish.
All right, guys, no one go anywhere. We're going to set up our post-race show, and we're just going to mute our mics, step away for a moment, and we'll be right back. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for waiting for us. We have gotten all 3 of our podium finishers in the broadcast booth, and we also have a first-time winner in his first race out here in the OP Racing on Monday night. Mark, man, congratulations. Before we go too far, I have got to ask, tell us about that last lap.
Well, I was just going to stay with the 15 car. I think it was 15 Alex. And he looks like somebody came down into me and they spun out and I just went for the win. I actually was just going to stay behind Alex and push him to the win and hopefully get a top 3.
Well, Mark, man, I'll tell you what, you're running a throwback paint scheme to Davey Allison, spectacular looking paint scheme. We kept our eye on you all race long, and you find a way to win this thing. Kept your nose clean in that last lap. Great moves, great intuition. Can we expect more of that from you next week?
Well, I hope so. My car just blew up, actually. Speaking of Davey Allison, he was my favorite driver when I was a kid, and my grandmother's favorite driver was Dale Earnhardt. So I kind of inherited Dale Earnhardt after Davey Allison, and then I inherited Junior after Dale Earnhardt. So I dedicate this win absolutely to my grandma. But yeah, I avoided 3 wrecks early on, and on that last lap, and I was just trying to keep my nose clean and run in the middle of the pack and maybe be there at the end, but maybe not. A top 10 would have been nice, but win is awesome.
All right, man. Well, congratulations on that race win. Before we let you go, any shout outs, thank yous, final thoughts, soak in this first race win, whatever you need to say, the floor is yours.
Thank you. I can't wait to watch it back. I'll probably do that at work tomorrow. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, shout out to Alex, Mark, Cody, and Forrest for letting me into the Monday Night Series. I ran some feeder races and enjoyed those. And shout out to any family and friends watching. I sent the link to everybody to watch on YouTube, so whoever stayed up, I appreciate it. And thanks to you guys. I've actually been watching your broadcast a long time before I even ran a feeder race. So I saw your broadcast, and I knew I wanted to be in the Super Speedway Series, and here I am, and first time. Hopefully I can repeat this again, but you know, if not, that's all good, and I'll just try to race clean.
Well, Mark, man, thank you so much. Makes me feel good. Put a lot of effort in these. The fact that you came because you wanted to be on the show. Here you are. You made it happen. Not only were you on the show, but you pulled off a race win. Congratulations, man.
Woo! Yeah, I'm psyched. Thank you. Have a good night, and I appreciate it. I'll see you next Monday.
All right, we look forward to watching Mark Mann next Monday here on the OP Racing Superspeedway Series. Tackle Daytona. But I'll tell you what, our next driver, Les Levy, is going to be interviewed by Steve Baker.
Yeah, I'm here catching up with the driver of the Hooker Headers 62 machine. Les, you started that car in the 4th position, brought it home in 2nd. Picking up your first top 5 of the season. Got to feel good. We did see you drop back from those top 4 there with the closing laps, around 2 to go. Was that a little strategy play to try and keep it clean towards the end, or what was going on there?
Yeah, you know, Steve, it was a tough night. The 62 Crows Special ran good in the beginning, got caught up in some mess, came back after a lap down, caught the lucky dog, caught up with those guys, and going to try to push Derek there, but I think I got some damage from running into him a few times, and I just couldn't keep up. So at that point, I figured, you know what? It's either going to checkers or wreckers with those boys, and I got a top 5 no matter what it was, looking where we're at. So just decided to bring that Crows prepared car back home in one piece.
Well, it definitely paid off, bringing it home 2nd place with a podium finish. You looked great all night long in that 62 machine. I mean, you were definitely one of the strongest cars in the field, consistently up towards the front, helping either leading or pushing one of the leaders all night. Tell us about that. Tell us about your race and just being one of the stronger cars out there tonight.
Well, you know, we got a league of good drivers, and it definitely pays. You got to qualify up front. We got some fast cars, and even you know, if they aren't fast, they're usually pretty good at making up ground by stages. And it was good to push for a while. Couldn't quite get there. Had the lead for a few laps, but all in all, a good night, and going to enjoy it. Going to sleep well on it and get up early and get to the day job.
I hear you. Again, awesome finish in the second position. Anybody out there for shout-outs? Anybody you want to thank or give a shout-out to?
Yeah, 10-4, Steve. First off, you and KR do a great job, as everybody does at Max. Alex and Cody and Robert, you know, they put up with all of us children from time to time and all our little fits and provide us some good places to race. We don't always give them the credit. And, of course, I got to prepare the guys, thank the guys back at the shop. The Crow's preparing me some fast cars and some good training there. So appreciate it, guys, and see you next Monday.
Yeah, we'll see you next Monday, and congrats again on the second place finish. That's Les Levy in the 62 hooker header Chevrolet Camaro. Fast all night long, and comes out of here with a top 2 finish. And we're going to go over to KR now with our third place finisher in the 11, Chase Berry.
Chase, that 11 machine finishing third out here tonight. Man, what a race it was for you, as you had to work your way through the field multiple times. Chase, tell us a little bit about your race, and yeah,
it was kind of eventful, you know. I didn't get in a wreck all night, so I guess that's one thing. Didn't have to. I still had a fast spare. Hope we can, you know, use them next week, if we got them left over. But I was, and it felt like I was in every wreck. I had to dodge and weave the whole time. Coming from the back, you know, it's fun. It just gives me something to do. Yeah.
Well, you pick up a another podium finish. You have a race win on the season. How difficult is it in this league become a repeat winner throughout the season?
Well, it pretty difficult because, you know, when I won the first one, everybody else wrecked in front of me. So I got lucky on that one. So I needed just 2 more cars to wreck tonight. I would have been a repeat winner. But it's pretty hard.
Well, Chase, man, nice job out there tonight. You finished third overall. Looking forward into the championship, how are you going to tackle going forward from here?
I'm probably just going to do what got me here. Just have fun, hang out, have a blast, talk crap, enjoy it. Just enjoy running around, having fun.
Well, man, I'll tell you what, if you ever need somebody to talk quote unquote crap with, let me know, man. I'd love to throw down with you. As always, Chase, great person to talk to. I enjoy watching you race out there in that 11 machine. Where's your Lego sponsor, by the way?
Well, I think I'm done with the Lego. My sister, I was running another league, whatever, and you know, you gotta have, you know, the little signed paper thing to sponsor. So I talked to my sister, she sponsored. So I put a little side business on the car. I run it in the Friday night leagues too. It's put a little side business, trying to get her help out and get her some exposure.
All right. Well, where can people go to find that side business that your sister's running?
It's on Facebook. It's KB's All Around Shop. She does prints, paper, or not paper, but decals, like for Yeti cups, all that stuff. Make shirts, decals, all that good stuff. Whatever you need, she can pretty much do it.
All right, Chase. Well, man, congratulations on third place here tonight, and we hope that your sister has a successful partnership with you on your sponsorship. Nice job on picking up that there.
Alrighty, yeah, just want. I know you gotta go, but I'm saying hey to Evan and Johnny. They support me tonight, so enjoy. Peace out.
That is Chase Berry bringing it home in third place here tonight. What a great job he did. He had to come from the back multiple times. And Steve, I'll tell you, this race, we had a rough go right in the middle of it, but man, what an exciting finish. What a wild time we had there to bring a close to Talladega. And next week, I look forward to more of the same.
Yeah, once we got past the mayhem there, sort of in the middle, man, those guys that remained really, really put on a show and gave everything they had to get the win. Congrats again to Mark Mann on picking up the win in his debut race here in OP Racing. And that was a heck of a show by those guys in the closing laps. So, again, like you said, looking forward to more of it next week as we visit Daytona. And sure that'll be a great one as well.
Well, so guys, thank you oh so much for joining us here tonight. Nothing left but the results. And Steve, you want to take us through the top 15?
Yeah, I'll give you a rundown here. Again, your winner tonight in the 0-4, that's Mark Mann coming home with the trophy. Les Levy in the 62 going to finish second. Chase Berry is going to finish third in the 11 car. Jacob Sayers going to make up a lot of points on Cody Ober in the 39. He's going to finish fourth in the 84 machine. Aspen Belvin going to round out your top five. Alex Green in the 15 going to finish sixth. Derek Conley going to end up seventh in the 28. Cody Leavitt in the 38 car going to finish eighth. Your last lead lap driver. In ninth, one lap down, Forrest Sparks in the 16 machine. Daniel Harrington going to round out your top 10 in the 82 car. In the 350, that's Alex Kienzler in 11th. Robert Payne finishes in 12th in the 3. Chris McCullough going to be 13th in the 42 machine. And right behind him, Kenneth McCullough in the 89 going to be 14th. And David McCullough in the 2 in 15th. Scott Bellum in the 07 finishes up in 16th position. James Mayer in the 95 going to be 17th. Kelly Milam in the 46 finishes 18th. And in 19th, Cody Ober finishes in the 8 machine. Josh Milam in the 7 car going to wrap up his night in 20th. Travis Elliott in the 51 is 21st. And in 22nd place, Brad Ray in the 128. That rounds out your field for the evening.
All right, guys, as always, we do want to give a huge shout out to Mark Vega in that one machine. He was our race control for tonight, dedicating his time not to driving, but to just watching everyone here racing and trying to police the insanity for Speedway. So thank you very much, Mark Vega. Steve, I look forward to next week. But, man, more importantly, we get to watch Steve Baker try and rip that Craftsman truck, Camping World, whatever it's called, the Camping World truck around Volusia, as you guys run in the RFC Vapor Trail Clothing Truck Series. Tomorrow night, Steve Baker, good luck to you. And tonight, thank you oh so much for joining me.
Yep, no problem. And looking forward to tomorrow night, getting out there on the dirt with the truck. Hopefully we can have a repeat of last week at Darlington and come out with a trophy again. But, yeah, man, we'll see what we can do. Like I said, I'm not as experienced on dirt, so I've been practicing, and we'll see what we can do. And hopefully put on a good show in RFC.
All right, man. Well, we look forward to it. That is Steve Baker joining me in the broadcast booth for tonight. And tomorrow night, if you guys join us, we will be watching him race, tear it up at Volusia in the Truck Series, as he is running Racing for a Cause on Tuesday night. That will be going live at 7:50 p.m. Central. Make sure you're here for that, either on Twitch at Outlaw77S or right here on MaxSpeedTV on YouTube. Either way, guys, I look forward to seeing you all once again. As for us, myself, Steve Baker, thank you oh so much for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you next time. Y'all have a good night, and I will leave you once again with this video made by Derek Conley in the 28. Until next time, we'll see you then.
Warning, the following stunts are performed by idiots or under the supervision of stupider idiots. If you attempt to reenact any of these idiotic stunts you will see, you will be left with idiotic scars. Enjoy.
Hi, I'm Alex Green. Welcome to OP Racing.